Chess. I gotta say I'm truly impressed with how balanced the game really is. Unlike most board games such as checkers or Connect 4, chess is not solved and probably never will be. You can have a game that's never been played before by move 8. It got me thinking, surely there was a time in history where it wasn't as fair, and surely that's where some of the weirder rules of chess have come into play, such as en passant. That's what I'd like to talk about today. These are the 6 weird rules of chess. If you enjoyed today's video, feel free to like and subscribe, it would help the channel a lot. To start off, en passant. En passant is one of the weirder moves in chess, no doubt. There are plenty of people who play chess who don't even know this rule exists. En passant is when your pawn is moved up 2 spaces, another player throws their pawn next to yours 2 spaces, you can then, only on the next move, diagonally jump by the opponent's pawn. Normally a pawn can only jump a piece if it's diagonally across from it, not around a piece diagonally. This is actually the only move in chess that you can jump a piece without landing on its square. So why does it exist? I was confused about this first, but it's actually pretty obvious when you look at it. Without en passant, players could easily create passed pawns, being very annoying and difficult to deal with as the defender. A passed pawn is a pawn who breaks past your pawns and is on its way to promotion. Promotion isn't the craziest rule in chess, I suppose. I mean, if you play checkers, then it just carries over, right? The cool thing about chess though is you can do what's called under promote, which means you don't have to turn into the queen, which is the strongest piece. There are niche scenarios where it's better to upgrade to a rook, knight, or even a bishop. You're allowed to choose to promote to any piece that isn't a king once your pawn hits the enemy's back rank. The no touch rule. The no touch rule, I'll go ahead and say, is the lamest goddamn rule in chess.
That side.
Well, why not? Oh, he touched the king.
Touched the king.
He touched the king. He touched the king. He needs to move it even. Oi.
Yeah, that is. He said he touched the king. Yeah, now
he touched the king and he said you do or something.
Yeah, now there is something. Yeah?
Well, that's. Well, he touched the king. He said,
all of a sudden, what a chance for a Ronin.
But it's not a chance, it's winning.
And I can't begin to explain to you why this exists. Essentially, if you touch a piece in tournament play, you have to move that piece. Notice how I said touch. You didn't even move the piece at all. You didn't nudge it a fucking hair. You just thought about it for a fraction of a second and you laid your big sweaty monkey paws on it and now you lose. This rule has got the better of many top players. The 50 move and 75 move rule. These rules are a bit more niche and I didn't even know they existed until doing this video. They are the same rule, it was just extended from 50 to 75 moves in 2016. The rule states if 75 moves have been made without a pawn move or without a capturing of a piece, the game is a draw. This rule exists solely to stop endgames from going on forever. Say white has a knight and a bishop, and your opponent only has a king. This is a forced win for white, if you know how to. If you're like me, you don't, and will move 75 moves without getting anywhere and succumb to this rule. Castling. I'm sure you're all familiar with castling, but I think it's quite possibly the weirdest move in chess. Your king and rook leap over each other in a single move. Definitely a little sus. Not only that, but there are so many requirements to be met for this to happen. For one, your king and rook on whatever side you choose to castle on cannot be moved beforehand at all. There must be 0 of your own pieces between your king and rook. You cannot castle if a piece is aiming where you'd like to castle, and you cannot castle out of a check. What a complex load of shit. I'm only kidding, I think the move is great for the game, ingenious really. Castling is so important to the game of chess, and I'm just a little impressed it was ever thought of. They experimented around with some other versions of castling before settling on what we have today, such as the king moving 2 spaces in its first move like a pawn would. Stalemate. If you're anything like me and suck donkey balls at checkmate and you fucking hate this rule. A stalemate is when you move your pieces in such a way to where your opponent isn't in check but has no legal moves that won't put them into check, and then you draw and you cry. As someone who's ass at chess, I'd like to see the king be able to move and just die in this situation. And now for the final rule of chess to keep it fair and balanced, 3 move repetition. 3 move repetition is when you and your opponent make the same move 3 times with no progress being made. No captures, no nothing. This is to ever happen, then the game is declared a draw. Can you imagine if this didn't exist and your opponent just kept doing the same thing the whole game clock? I'd kill myself. Any rule I'm missing y'all find weird or important, let me know in the comments. Check out my other chess video where I explain why the knight is better than the bishop. Spit in my butthole.